Third episode begins with Guillermo confronting Fed about the attack on his men at the river and his men who went missing during the celebrations. Fed offers to send out a search party, but Guillermo tells him he's already been looking all night. Guillermo then asks him what kind of place Solaz Delmare is if he lets a man accost them when they arrive and lets guests question their alliance. Guillermo goes on to say that he senses distrust and reluctance, and wonders if Solaz should even be part of the alliance. Fed tells him they value the alliance. Guillermo asks him to prove it. After Guillermo leaves, Fed tells his man to find out what he can about the attack at the river. Antonio tells Carol that it seems she spoke out of turn last night. She tells him that she didn't mean to upset anyone or put him in an awkward position. He tells her that he liked it. Daryl Dixon asks if they are still taking what they need from there and hitting the road. Carol says she is worried. Daryl tells her not to be and to keep her eyes on the prize. She says she got a bad feeling. He tells her he is going to the boat and then orders her to steal Antonio's solar panel. Carol tells him that she did some thinking last night and it was good that Justina wasn't chosen. But what about Alba? Daryl asks who Alba is and walks off. Justina asks Roberto how they can just let Justina go. He tells her there is nothing they can do for her, but at least there is time for them. She asks what he is planning. He tells her to let him worry about it. He gives her a necklace with a compass as a pendant. Daryl comes along and sees them together. He tells Roberto that they should go. Justina puts on the necklace. Daryl asks Roberto if he thinks he can help him fix the boat. Roberto tells him he thinks he knows somebody who can help. Daryl says the sooner they fix the boat, the sooner they can leave. Carol is outside gazing at the solar panel when Antonio comes along and asks if he can help her with something. She tells him she is just getting some air. He notices blood on her back and says her bandage needs changing. While changing the bandage, she asks him about Fed. He tells her they had a quarrel when they were very young, before he went to Barcelona. After that, he came home to Solaz to raise Robert because they lost his mother in an accident. Carol asks if he also got hurt in the accident. He doesn't answer and tells her that she leaves soon, and he thinks they know each other well enough. The boat captain looks at Daryl's boat and tells him the hull is damaged. He says he'll patch it up. She says it cannot just be patched. She then tells him that the rudder is dead. He says he'll repair it. She tells him that he will need to replace it. She says if he can even find a similar boat. She tells him she might know a place and he can take her truck. Daryl tells Roberto they'll go. Roberto says he isn't going anywhere until he makes sure his demands are clear. Daryl asks what demands. Roberto tells him that he and Justina are coming on the boat. Daryl says he guesses he is on his own then. The boat captain says he won't help unless he agrees to take them to America. Carol is packing up supplies at Antonio's place when she hears screaming in the distance. She grabs a weapon and follows the sound. This leads her to a small projector where Antonio is watching a horror movie of sorts. He invites her to join him. Daryl and Roberto arrive at the boatyard. When they get there, Daryl tells him that he gets it, and he's run away a bunch of times himself. Roberto asks why. Daryl tells him it's complicated. Roberto says he knows why he's leaving, and maybe Daryl is still trying to figure out why he left. It doesn't take them long to find a similar boat with a working rudder. While removing the rudder, Daryl and Roberto are attacked by a zombie from under the ocean. Daryl manages to kill it, but Roberto drops the rudder in the water in the process. Daryl tells him they will find another one. By the time they get back to the boatyard, the whole place is crawling with walkers. Roberto goes back for the rudder, while Daryl fights off the walkers. As soon as Roberto gets the rudder, he is nearly attacked again by 3 ocean zombies. Daryl comes to his rescue just in the nick of time. Justina's grandmother notices her necklace and asks if it was a gift from Roberto. Justina asks if she will tell. The grandmother says she was young once, too. Justina says Fed would keep her in a cage if he could. The grandmother says he only wants to protect her. Shortly after this, Justina pokes her finger with a sewing needle. The grandmother tells her where she can find a key to get into Fed's cabinet to get bandages. While looking at the bandages, Justina finds a hidden compartment with all the tags from the pig race. Justina immediately rushes over to Antonio's place and asks to speak with Roberto. Carol answers the door and tells her that he is out. Justina apologizes and rushes off. Carol catches up to her and says she is there to talk if need be. Justina tells Carol that Alba's mother will never survive without Alba. Justina says she has to do something. Carol tells her she can understand the frustration, but sometimes there is nothing one can do. Justina thanks and hugs her. Antonio makes a fancy dinner for Carol. During the dinner, he tells her that he has an extra solar panel if it will come in use on her boat. She tells him that's a good idea. She never thought of that. He tells her to ask for anything she needs, including food from his storeroom, candles, or tools. She apologizes. He tells her that she saved Roberto's life. Carol says he has done a wonderful job raising Roberto. Antonio says he's not sure Roberto would agree. Carol says he's young and in love. Antonio says Justina is quite the young lady and has been so lucky surviving 6 ofrendas. He goes on to say that he worries Justina might feel guilty and volunteer herself. Carol and Antonio go looking for Justina, while Daryl tells Roberto that he and Justina are going to like America. When Carol and Antonio get to the town square, Fed is announcing that Justina has given herself up to El Alcazar, and they have decided to leave town early. Carol watches her being taken away.